Can you hear me, Sue? Can you hear me?
I just unmute myself.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. What I might do before people jump on, assuming anyone does, I'll see if I can spotlight you, and so we've both got our heads up. Okay, participants. Sue. Make host, make co-host, allowed to multi-pin. Not sure about that. I got one of those balls for carpal tunnel.
I just found it in my drawer. My blood pressure's up a little bit, so I thought I'll get my stress ball out. Squash an emoji head.
Looks like we're actually recording now. So
it is, yeah. Somebody pushed record.
Sorry?
Yeah, it was recording before you come on.
Yeah, it looked like it's a live recording. So we might start.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Road to Retirement Level Up series on leadership. To introduce myself, my name is Greg Whelan. I'm a qualified national marketing director in the Juice Plus company. I've been in the business for a little over 4.5 years, and I get to do that every single day with my beautiful wife, Denise, who you may have come across in your travels. She is a national marketing director and has been in the business about 2 months longer than me. It is my absolute pleasure today to host today's event, where I get to talk to my lovely friend, Sue Parkin, who is a QSSC in the business and has been in for about 13 months now, something of that nature. And in preparation for today's event, I go back to a time where I first got to talk to Sue. I was sitting on a rock up in Port Douglas outside the Tin Shed restaurant. And let us just say that our lives have changed remarkably since that first phone call. But I won't steal Sue's thunder. I'm sure she's got a very good recollection of that first phone call and how she come to join the business. So I'll start by asking you, Sue, to introduce yourself and let us know where you were before this business opportunity come along.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning, everyone. My name's Sue. I'm 59 years old, young, really. My recollection of that phone call with Greg was, why is he calling me? But anyway, that's another story for another day. Before this journey, I was an ironing lady. I'd had a business for about 20 years, and most of that time I'd been ironing 7 days a week. There was never a break. I was also a full-time carer, first for my husband, then for my grandma, and now for my mum, who lives with me and has been for 5 years. I always thought that I would be ironing until I could iron no more. I didn't have any superannuation, no savings. I had nothing in the bank. I lived from pension check to pension check, and whatever little bit I could scratch in while I was ironing. Week to week, if I needed money, I'd have to go and ask Mum, and that was something that I didn't want to do. And I thought, Mum's 83, and I used to think to myself a lot, what if she were to go to heaven before I turned 65? I would then have to go and find a job. I've been a carer for so long now that the only job I could do would be menial work. I don't want to demean the cleaners and all those people who do an amazing job, but I wouldn't have been qualified to do anything other than a job, I was probably going to be too old to do. I would struggle with it. So I kept thinking to myself, please don't go until I'm after 65, Mum, because then I won't have to go and look for a job. And the other thing that was really worrying were my kids, mainly my son. He was so concerned about what I was going to do for the rest of my life. He knew that there would be no savings. He knew that I would be going from a carer's pension to an age pension. There was nothing in between for me to build up my bank, to build up a resume. I didn't even have one. Hadn't worked for years. So before this, do you know what? It was pretty shitty. There really wasn't much to look forward to. And having to rely on your last parent to hang around until after you're 65 was a pretty crap thing to think about every day. So that was me before the Juice Plus journey. This was me 13 months ago.
So I guess that leads us in, and you've answered most of it, but why did you say yes to something you essentially didn't know anything about?
I wasn't real sure on anything. I didn't have any idea what you were leading me towards, not a clue. I still don't own a computer. I run my business on my iPhone, my iPad. Technology was terrifying, and so was learning something new that was quite foreign. I had no idea what network marketing was. I didn't even know that was a word. I think for the first 2 weeks, it was, what the hell am I doing here? And then after that, it was the passion that I saw in the community, the passion that I saw in you, Greg. You were the one who, you must have seen something in me that I didn't. You believed before I did. And you knew that I needed to do this before I did. So it was very eye-opening. I'm definitely glad that I followed the little burning in my gut, and I followed your phone call, and I thought, well, really, I had nothing to lose. Nothing was ever going to happen in my life after that. So I guess it was a case of, why not take this plunge? I was 58 then, and as I said, standing in front of an ironing board till I thought I was 90. That was my goal, hopefully to stand up long enough to bring in some extra dollars, but it still was not going to lead me anywhere. Whereas starting this, even though I had no clue what was going to happen, I had no idea what the future held for me then, how things were going to change. But I dived in because I followed my heart with you and the community, and that they were all my reasons in one big ball as to why I went ahead and did something that, oh, Jesus Christ, I was a nufty. I really was. I had no idea. So that was why my steps at getting into the business.
Can you share with our listeners that sliding doors moment when you had to decide about this creepy guy that had sent you this message, and then you did what?
To be quite honest, I thought Greg was a weirdo. I thought, oh, who is this bloke? He won't leave. Stop messaging me. So I actually went into his profile page to have a little looky, and there was Denise, his beautiful wife. It was their wedding photos that I saw, and I thought, well, do you know what? He must be all right, because she was bloody gorgeous. And I thought, well, you know what? If Greg scored that gorgeous lady, then there's got to be something to what he's saying. I needed to listen, and I needed to just trust that he was going to lead me in the right direction. And he has.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you swiped left and not right, or right or not left. I don't know which way it works, but
Oh, I took
that's
the right
beautiful.
path instead of the left path.
Okay. So we've started on the journey. What has the journey been for you, albeit short? I know you've compressed a lot into the last 12 or 13 months.
I have. I really flew out of the blocks. I needed your support desperately, 100% in those first couple of months, because I didn't know where all this was coming from. I was promoted and promoted again within 10 days. I was senior partner with teamies and customers, and I really didn't have any idea how or what I was supposed to do with all this. So this is where Greg, honest to God, you never let me be for one day. I was constantly advised, and then I was advised by Denise, and then gradually up the line, everybody offered words of encouragement, words of support, ideas. Look, I honestly, 13 months down the track, and I'm guessing probably 60% I've figured out in the business, but there's still a lot to learn. And that's what's really, really exciting. I mean, here I am, I've turned 59 already, and I'm still learning, which is astonishing. And I retired from my 20-year business at the end of April. I let it go because I was so passionate that I wanted to put more time into this business, which I absolutely love and enjoy. And ironing, it wasn't in here anymore. You know, I had found a new passion, and I wanted to follow that path. And standing in front of the ironing board 6 or 7 days a week was frankly getting a bit annoying. And I wanted to, I'm a talker, so I couldn't talk to anybody but their pants or their shirts. How do you want your crease today? Pants? Do you want your zipper done up? I need to talk to people. I need to be out there, going out, taking people to lunch and talking face-to-face is my jam. These are things that I've discovered in the last 13 months that I can do that talking to people, sharing my story is a whole sight easier than standing there asking the pants if they want creases in them. I've shed a lot of worries. I don't worry now. I mean, God willing, Mum hangs around until I'm 80, but more than likely that won't happen. But at least I know if something does happen that I've got my business, I've got a future. I know that I know that this will be my life for the next 40 years and my children's life beyond all that. But that's the next question. So let's talk about that.
So just tell us some of the highlights, and you've crammed a lot into your first 12 or 13 months. Tell us some of the highlights for you in the business.
Look, some of the highlights, I'm not a materialistic person, and I've struggled all my life for the mighty dollar. And so when commission comes in, or no, the bonuses, when the bonuses come in, the best bit of advice I was given is spend it on yourself. And I thought, yeah, well, that's easy done. So look, I love handbags and shoes and, you know, all the other girly things. But the business side has led me towards amazing people. It's opened my eyes to, I look around and think these people started out just like me. They were scared. They didn't know what was going to happen. But here they are now giving themselves to other newbies like me. And I mean, they're not all my age. They're 18 plus, and they're all getting the same advice, the same wisdom, the same learning experiences that I've been given in the last 13 months. I have met the most amazing people, from the owners, who I didn't know he was. I just called him Pete. Went, how are you, mate? and I danced with Celine, and these are people who are just regular folk, but they've done so much for this business and trailblazed for all us that have come behind them. The mistakes that they made are taught to us so that we don't make them. And it's so much easier to be in this business, I think, now than when a lot of these people started before mobile phones and Zoom and iPads, and they had to physically ring people and go out and talk. And this business has been built on courage and dedication, and we are now reaping the benefits of their wisdom. And it's absolutely amazing that someone of my era can start again and be taught by people who've been there and done that. And that's just an amazing. Something else I've found is the community. It doesn't matter how old they are, their religion, their colour, their race, everybody loves what they do, and everybody loves you for yourself, your story. There's some amazing stories out there, and this business has given me a community that I didn't know existed 13 months ago. I didn't even know what this business was all about. So look at me go.
Some of my favourite memories of spending time in this business is seeing people see the community and being embraced by the community. I've got a beautiful photo of you with Celine up on a chair dancing, and people, when I put the photo up, they said, "Who's that chick dancing with that crazy Sheila with the coloured hair?" And said, "That's the owner of our business." And the standard answer is, "Well, that's a load of BS. That doesn't happen." But you know different.
Yeah,
I think one of my other favourite ones is when you got nominated as Rookie of the Year, and you got to go to a leadership little 4-hour thing at Ange and Adam's place, and because you were a QSSC, and they brought you out a birthday cake, and I got a beautiful photo of you looking like a 5-year-old, and I think I'll take that to my grave, the memory of you just being a kid, and that I could see that enjoyment and passion and joy actually just coming out, beaming out of your face. So that was a special day as well.
Yeah, well, somebody said to me, somebody who's not in the business but a very good friend, said that was her favourite photo that she'd ever seen, was that birthday one, when I was I was so surprised. Who are these people who had been around for years? I was 8 months into the business, and here was these people who I admired, looked up to, only ever seen them on Zoom. Here I was sitting there live with them, and somebody come out with all these cake with a candle and singing happy birthday. And I'm going, oh gosh.
Yeah.
That was so very cool. And that will be a memory up here forever as well. There's so many, but that was a top one. And being at conference, up on stage, thought I'd forgot my whole speech, and I missed one line. And for people to come up afterwards and say I made them cry, who'd have thought? Me. I just have a story to tell, and it seems that my story touches people. And I was I felt so privileged that they actually came up to share those things with me. And the love at that conference was absolutely amazing, as was Game Plan. I really enjoyed both. Oops.
So on that note of the joy that you've had so far and things to look forward to in the future, what excites you about your future in the business?
Look, so many things, but I have narrowed it down to a few. I've got a little few notes here. The first thing I want to do, I have been a renter since the day I got married in 1981. I've rented. Never ever have I had a house that's got Sue Parkin on the deeds. So that is mine. I'm thinking maybe within the next 4 years, that is an achievable goal. Thank you to Juice Plus for the opportunity to do that. I want to see my name on the deed. I don't want anything flash. I don't want a mansion, but something where Mum and I can be comfortable, and that I can paint the walls a colour that I want, which will be a whole variety. none of this crap white. And I want to, because this business is a legacy business, which is, it took me a long time to understand what that meant. But I know that the work that I put in now and over the next 40 years until I'm across the Rainbow Bridge, that everything that I do from now forward will benefit my kids. All this work will go to them. And if ever they have kids, then it'll be passed on to them as well. And to see my kids not have to work anymore, to follow their dreams of rescue farm is what my son wants. He's in a stressful job, and I would love to see him not have to do that anymore. So that was another one of my dreams. And the other one is I want to be of service to lots and lots and lots and lots of families. I want to be that person that they, you know, in 20 years' time, they can tell their kids, say, do you know what, it was Sue that started me out here. And I'm going to look back in 20 years and go, do you know, you're old and grey, Dad, but, you know, you started me out on this business. You were the one that gave me the push. And I want people with healthy families, healthy kids in business for themselves to look back and go, do you know, if it wasn't for that upline, if it wasn't for Sue's encouragement, Greg's encouragement, Denise, Linda, on and up the line, it wouldn't have happened. So step outside the box like I did. I took a giant leap of faith. You've no idea. I was settled in what I was doing, but again, it wasn't here. But this is in the heart and the passion and helping other families find their own health and their own passion, and a sideline business is just friggin' awesome.
So thank you very much for your time. If you could leave someone with a tip or a piece of advice about your journey, what would it be?
I would say if someone offers you an opportunity, it costs nothing to look. Follow your gut and be real. Nobody wants you to be anything than what you are, what your story is. If you tell people your story, they will listen and they will empathise and they will know that you are trustworthy and believable, and true to yourself is the most important thing.
Well, it's been an absolute joy catching up with you today, Sue, and thank you so much for swiping left and all the people that you've inspired along the journey. When you can stand up on stage and share your story with people inside the business and make them cry, it's patently obvious you've got a beautiful heart and you've been put on this earth to share that with people. And I'm so glad that you said yes to more. And you've certainly made our life a more joyous and colourful one. And we look forward to having a front row seat for all the people that you're going to inspire along the way. So thank you very much for your time. I'm sure it won't be the last time we get to hang out online inspiring people. So you have a fantastic day. And
Thank
to
you.
all those people out there, never be afraid to reach out, because there are diamonds in the rough, or roughs in the diamonds. So thank you, Sue, and thank you for your time, and thank you for those who are listening and are going to watch the replay back. So we will catch you later. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.